allegiance to the flag. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I believe Mr. Sear is our first person of the evening here.
Great.
And you have someone with you?
Yes, I do. This is Catherine Harrison from Remax.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Hi, Royce. Paul Neto, and you know Sue probably. Everybody else pretty much knows each other. Okay, so what's going on?
Could you present this question?
Well, okay, so the way Jason understood it, when he talked to somebody in here
I spoke with
earlier,
you and Mike last week and unfolded this.
Okay.
okay, that he could sell off the lot with the building in another lot.
Together as one?
No,
It's so some of them as separate lots? Are they gonna be kept as separate lots?
no, right?
I was going to try to sell this whole piece as one unit, but we wanted to be able to subdivide that off for the new owners.
Okay.
But that would create subdivision if I read.
That'll create a subdivision.
Okay.
So, right, so the only way that you could do it is to sell off, one lot and that's it. And the rest would have to stay in you and your sister's name. Now, you could split this, so you know. You could split this, so you and your sister your sister owns what, she thought she was gonna own, and you own what you thought you could own. And you still could sell off one lot because it's between relatives?
Sibling,
Siblings, yes, okay.
yes.
So she could
In other
put
words,
this
you're
deed
gonna
in
take
her name.
the whole piece and then split off the two sections, basically, right?
Right, he took one piece like this, and his sister took this piece right here, and he retained this other piece that looks like this. He could
Okay.
sell off one lot off of his piece, right?
Yes.
Even though it is three pieces, the split is between relatives, blood relatives.
Right, because this is all one big lot right now.
Correct.
So, yeah, if you could, I'll say, just for no better purposes, you gotta just split it in half roughly.
And my surveyor, he left this line dotted, and he was going to pin these with a note here saying that this was contingent on approval of the planning board in the future. So this was in fact only going to be one piece.
Yes, yes, that would stay as one piece, as it is now, that section.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay? You understand?
No.
So you could you and your sister, it's in both your names.
Mhm.
You go ahead and you put this one piece into Melanie's name. You keep this one piece in your name, and you sell off the piece that you want to sell off. You just got to make sure you leave the rest of it contiguous.
Right, you just need to meet,
You can't just
You
break
need to
off
meet
a
your-
piece in the middle
Sure.
and stuff not be contiguous.
you need to
Okay.
meet your minimum 2-acre lot
Yeah.
at that point. Anything you sell off, and you can do that one time.
One time. And then in 5
years.
years, she can go ahead and sell off a lot, and you can go ahead and sell off a lot.
Okay, but, all right, I think we're all set, maybe.
Now what if they were to go through minor subdivision? What is minor subdivision in the town of Lebanon? Does anybody know?
That's a good question.
3 lots.
There you go, and that's Paul Philbrick, he's our present chairman of the planning board.
Okay, 3 lots, and so they would have to just do a complete survey like this, and they could sell off 3 lots, and they'd have to have the soil test done, a wetland delineation done, because we're in, over on Heath Road there, and we all know what it looks like.
You're Heath Road and
Heath and
they're on
Bog.
the corner.
Okay. And it goes in front of the planning board at that point?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
That would be your next step if you go that way.
Mhm. And is there any other criteria?
I'd have to get off the book to.
Okay, but it's
I don't want to
online.
give you bad information.
Okay, it's online so I can look it up,
The planning board's not meeting till next month,
Correct.
okay,
meaning the month of February.
Right.
first Thursday. We missed it this
Okay,
month.
all right. Okay, anything else?
No, I think that's all I needed to know.
You understand?
Perhaps you can explain it to me.
Okay,
there.
I'll explain to you then.
Thank you, gentlemen.
That's it.
Thank you,
We're
folks.
done. Thanks
Well,
for
very
bringing them in.
You're welcome.
Good enough.
All right, so the floor is yours.
I sent you, I forwarded an email to all of you, and I also made copies and put it in the mailbox from Paul Philbrook regarding question 1.
Okay. I haven't had a chance to read that one yet.
And it's regarding talking to your state reps and senators, and it was something he wanted forwarded to you for you guys to just look at.
Oh, okay.
So there's an email attached to it. I wrote, please read at the top. So you should all
You
have
gave
that.
me one of those hard copies too earlier.
It's, yeah, I did. I put one in everybody's mailbox.
Would that be it?
Yep. So at some point, please take a look at that. Okay, the next thing I have is, okay, we talked about this last week, and I got a call from Colonial Mobile Homes, from Kristen, regarding, they own a piece of property on Upper Middle Road, which there's a mobile home on the property that they sold to somebody, just the mobile home. There's also a garage on that piece of property that belongs to Colonial, not the person that bought the mobile home. And it states in the bill of sale that they only purchased the mobile home, but they rent the land from Colonial. So it looks like that mobile home's gonna be foreclosed. So Kristen had called and asked if they could pay the taxes on the garage, so, because, see, what happened was all this time, the garage and the mobile home have been taxed to that homeowner,
Okay.
because we didn't realize that it wasn't part of it. And she produced the bill of sale and showed us that, yes, it was only the mobile home, so
Okay.
the garage belongs to Colonial. So what I had to do was an abatement and a supplement. So I abated the last 3 years on the garage, on the property owned by the person that has the mobile home. And then I did a supplement to Colonial for the 3 years that they weren't paying for the garage.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I just need, signatures on the mobile, on the abatement, so we can do that. And I went over it with Ben too, so.
Okay. That is sounding familiar.
They didn't say.
And then I don't know if you you don't have to sign these supplements, they just have to be processed, Dale will process those.
Oh. We need a total on that abatement.
Christine coming?
No, she's not.
She's sick?
She's not gonna be here tonight. I don't know. I think she said she wasn't feeling well. Let's see. All right, so the next. let me just put this in. Okay, then I have some requests for appointment to volunteer boards or committees. And the first one is Matthew Amacio. And he wants to be on the planning board. And he would be a regular member. His appointment would be from the present time to June 30th of 2021. And I guess what you do with these is just initial them, and then I give them to, I have to give them back to Jen, and then she gets the appointment paperwork going.
Do we have others for the same thing?
I've got Sarah O'Brien and Ben Thompson, both for they're alternate members for the planning board. And these two positions would be from now until June of this year.
Okay, this says it's a resident request for appointment.
Mhm.
So that means if we sign this or initial this, then whoever we sign is appointed.
It's an application, this is an application, so the actual appointment paper has to be done by Dale. This is something that I guess started last year, where they wanted an application from the people. It used to be somebody could come in and say,
Paul?
okay,
See,
May I ask you, is this an application or an actual appointment form? Would you mind coming up and checking it out
I
with us?
believe it's just the application form. We have an
Because
application.
it doesn't say anything about application up top.
Right, the official appointment papers still have to come through afterwards.
right.
But this is like an application. for that one.
You'll accept these as an application?
Right.
Okay.
Well, they came from them, from the planning board to me, for you guys to approve.
I've never signed one of these before, so
Well, I hadn't either. I guess last year they started using them because they wanted the selectmen to see before somebody got appointed. They wanted the select board to approve
No.
the application.
I'm still gonna question this. That's not the same form.
No, one comes from online or something, Jen said. And I don't know where the other one came
Well,
from.
I'll sign the ones that say application, but I will not sign the other one that doesn't. Not tonight, until I know better. Because to me, that looks like an appointment paper. Maybe somebody's got their paperwork a little mixed up or something, but
Well, if Jen
It
was here,
doesn't
she
look
could
right.
explain to you the difference.
two of them say application plainly at the top. Those I'll be glad to initial. I mean, this one here, if they want to rewrite it as an application, by all means, but
This is what
It
Jen
just says
handed,
it-
this is
it
what
says-
Jen handed to me. I
it says
understand.
plainly that that's an appointment sheet. black letters. Whereas those other
Well,
ones
it
are black.
says here, thank you for
whereas-
expressing an interest in serving on one of town's volunteer boards or committees. Before the board makes appointments, they would like to know a little bit about you and why you feel you would contribute to the board or committee. And this, I think, was, I don't know where they
And now
got
that you read
this.
that one, I'll read the other one.
Well, I know it says application, I mean, I'm not denying that you're saying that one says application, but this, if you've seen the appointment
If they were
papers,
all on
this
the
has,
same-
I'm just saying,
If they
this
were all
has
on
no
the same
place.
format, so I'd be more than happy.
I understand, and that's fine, you can,
Yeah, it's just-
however you wanna do it, I'm just telling you, these were just handed to me from Jen, because they came from two different
Fine.
places. Because
I
an
think that
appointment
other-
paper
I
would
think that
have,
other person deserves a chance to be
Yes.
considered. But I'm
and I'll
not
tell
gonna sign
Jen,
something that
that's
says she's
fine,
appointed.
that's fine, that's fine.
He.
You tell her.
I will I'll give it to Jen and she can have him do the correct application. But an appointment paper would have a place for your signatures and for the
Probably.
clerk and everything else, so. Okay, so the next thing I have is a training and development class request.
Excuse me, Sue, what board or class is that for?
It's for lifting the haze, marijuana and legal.
For the planning board?
It's
Considerations.
for Sean Bright.
And also there's another one here underneath that.
Oh, for Cassandra, yes, there's one for each of them.
Thank you.
I was getting around to that as soon as I read it. Oh, you put the both of those on one work order.
They did that, yes.
Purchase order.
Okay, can you just sign, this is the paper that goes with that agreement, they have to give to Dale.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you just sign this? This is that cover sheet that goes to Dale for the abatement. Thank you. Okay, and then I have a, application for veterans exemption.
happening over?
Oh.
These. Okay. Selectmen or assessor?
Hmm?
What's my title?
You're both.
One place to sign that.
Yeah, you can initial it if you want. So now, next week, when are you guys planning to meet? Because Monday's a holiday, unless you want to come in on Monday.
Martin Luther King Day.
Why don't we wait, we'll decide later?
Well,
Well, that's Christine.
Should we decide in
Well-
the meeting call?
okay, first of
We're
all,
gonna have another meeting this week?
yes, that was the next thing I was gonna talk to you about. Christine wanted to set up a workshop for you guys to work on the transfer station and general government budgets.
Okay, but we won't be able to vote on anything there. So
Right, but
workshop.
it's a workshop for you guys to work on them. So
I think
that,
we-
she wanted to do that on Thursday if you guys are available.
What day is she free, Paul? Who, Christine?
Thursday, she said.
Thursdays?
She wanted to know if you could, well, Thursday at
Well,
6.
No, but I say to set up our meeting.
What do
So
you
I
mean?
could wait, we could wait and do it on Thursday next week? But don't you have,
Well, there's a planning board meeting, but
right,
you might be able to do it Wednesday, next Wednesday at, I don't know what time, I don't know how late she works on Wednesday. But what I
Where's
was
my
gonna say is
Wednesday?
if you guys come in this Thursday to do a workshop, you can talk to her and then set up
Decide
a
on
date
the
for
phone.
for the next week. Can you both come in on Thursday at 6 to do a
Yeah.
workshop?
Yeah.
Okay.
we owe it to the public though to decide what day the meeting's gonna be. You wanna do it? You think she'll be okay on Wednesday? I'll go along with it.
Yeah, I don't know what time for sure, that was the only thing, I don't know.
Well, you've also got, who's meeting
Well,
on
there's a
Wednesday?
budget committee meeting at 6:30 on Wednesday. And then next week, again, the planning board is on Thursday, so.
I'd be all right for 3 o'clock on Wednesday.
Well, I don't think she can come that early, I think it would have to be
We have to
5.
sign this initial, or what?
No, I mean, I only need one signature.
Okay.
How early can she get here on Thursday?
Probably not till 6, that's usually. when-
Prefer not to interfere with other meetings.
Right, so, I'll have to
Okay.
ask her, I don't know.
Tuesday is out of the question.
I don't know, that's what I'm saying, I don't know. I can talk to her.
Well, it's with this fire.
That's why I said if you wait until Thursday, you guys can decide, the 3 of you.
No,
when-
we can't, not if it's set up as a workshop. We're not supposed to vote on anything.
Okay, and you can't talk about anything as far as when you might be able to have a meeting?
Probably could talk about it, but a decision is a decision.
Okay, so, I don't know, I didn't know that we made a decision on every meeting when we had a meeting.
I don't know if it's been done right or not.
Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. You can pick a date and time and I can check and see if she's available. If not, then you guys can just have the meeting, the 2 of you, next week.
Well, if I remember right, she comes in and she's, Tuesday is. 6
That's her
o'clock.
late night. Tuesday she works until 7, I think.
Oh, okay. Why don't we make a 3 o'clock meeting on Thursday? I think she should be able to do that. No, you said 3 o'clock, you can't. One of those days she has off. Once you got,
She has
Monday's
Mondays
off.
off, but Monday's a
Mondays?
holiday.
what about Fridays?
No, she doesn't have
No.
Fridays off.
Thursday, why don't we have it Thursday, 6 o'clock?
Well, there's a planning board meeting.
Because it's a
Thursday,
planning board
6
meeting,
o'clock.
and I'd like to attend that too.
Why don't you guys just have a meeting then? Or pick a time and you can, and if she can make it, fine, and if she can't, then at least you know you will.
Well, if I knew what
Get
time
more
you
play in the
make it,
marijuana
I'd
Pick a day.
Can we have the workshop followed by a meeting schedule?
Yes, they could.
You gotta say in 6,
Just
I
saying.
don't know, Paul, you wanna do it? I don't know how much we're gonna have to do. There's gonna be a lot of business come up in a short time, or not.
So far, I have one person coming in.
When are they set for?
Whenever you're gonna have your meeting.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if they were open or they had a particular time.
Excuse me, Royce, could you open a meeting after your workshop?
Oh, I suppose we could. All right, let's do it that way. Schedule a meeting for after the workshop.
For this Thursday? You're gonna have another meeting this Thursday.
Just to make it official, that's all. We
So
need to
then you'll
make
make
more
your
of it.
decision on when you're gonna have your next week meeting?
I guess we could. Yeah, why not? Then would that give you a chance to catch up with Christine between now and then?
Well, you guys will be able to talk to her if you're gonna have a meeting after your workshop.
Right.
So I'll just put on the
Yeah,
agenda that you're
just
gonna have a
schedule a
meeting
meeting.
after the workshop.
Regular meeting after the workshop. We can limit that workshop time. What time are we gonna open that up? What time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock?
Yeah.
And why don't we schedule the meeting for us, I don't know.
Well, it will come right after. You can do it right after. Doesn't, if you're here
Does
for an hour,
Does
then,
this also, on Thursday, does that also involve the planning board?
no, not this Thursday. There's nobody else scheduled this Thursday, the 12th.
All right,
The workshop is the 12th for transfer station and general government budgets, so you
Right.
guys can work on those. And if you wanna have a meeting after that, then you can do whatever you'd like. So,
why don't we schedule the meeting for 6 o'clock, since she can make that on Thursday, and then we'll do the workshop after the meeting.
But the whole thing is, I think you
Excuse
misunderstood.
me,
You can do that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, what are you gonna do next week, is my
we'll
question.
decide that on Thursday, since we're gonna be all three together to do it. I'd like to have that opportunity.
Well, that's
Offer that
what,
opportunity to the
that's-
chair.
that's fine. Okay, so you wanna have a regular meeting at 6 o'clock on Thursday, the 12th, this Thursday.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have your
We'll
workshop
have a workshop
after.
after.
Okay, all right.
That works. That work for you guys?
Works for me.
Sorry about that.
Question.
Yes.
If you're gonna have a workshop, then you would be discussing stuff. Why wouldn't you have the meeting after to be able to,
Well, I thought that too, but how long are we gonna be discussing stuff? So, we need to do one official act, at least set up the meeting for the following week. And we can do that. Then we can have our workshop.
Okay?
Works
We all
good for
set?
me.
It works.
Okay, so the next item was canceled, and if Paul is here, and he said he could do his moratorium
Okay.
discussion with you now, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, have you have enough time to prepare and all that stuff, Paul?
I'm all set.
You're all set? All right.
Royce, can I just ask a question about that? The agenda did not go out until almost 9 o'clock this morning,
That's right.
and he is listed as the last person on the agenda. And I know there are people that want to be involved in that may not be here because they're still working. So
There's no time.
that's my only question.
There are no times
There
on the agenda.
there are no times, but there is an order.
Okay.
That's my only question. Do what you want.
When
It's
it's
just
my
my question. And whenever you're ready, sir.
Okay. Now, there's no times listed. It wasn't done on purpose. We have had cancellations tonight. A couple of them, as a matter of fact. So it kind of moved everything up. I'm sorry that things are moving the way they are,
Mhm.
but we don't, let's see, there's one other thing after this is done, we'll have,
Dale, and then we've got the trains and,
And an executive session, correct?
yeah.
So there are other things that you could do in order to let people get here from work, right?
The people coming for the trains are scheduled to come in at 4:30. So,
Oh, I didn't see that on the agenda.
no,
See
you
any
didn't, I
times?
don't think you did. But
No.
we had to tell them sometime to come because it was getting 4 people together at the same time. So, anyway.
Interesting. Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Mr. Philbrick, I think we're gonna go ahead with your presentation, if you'd like. I'll let you make the call on that one a little bit, if you prefer to wait a while.
It's entirely up to you. Isn't, what I have is very simple, so.
Well, why don't, gosh, we've got an hour to do it anyway, almost, so. Let's do it. And I should recognize you as Mr. Chairman of the Planning Board.
Give it a ball, simple.
What the hell everybody else does?
I backed up from the table.
Hey, I paid my taxes. 3 times.
Make sure everybody's.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul, for making enough for everybody.
I'll give you couple minutes just to look it over first.
You've got this one. Yeah. Thanks.
Now, just to clarify this, the planning board has gone ahead and they've looked over other suggestions for this plan. Right, and this is what they've come up with as their thoughts on what would be the best for us to go with. And so, back to you, Paul.
I'll just give everybody a chance to look it over, then I'll talk. Would you like one, sir? Sure. Good tax audit. Good see. Thank you. Good to see you.
Cream. What's a retail marijuana social club?
Well, you can go in and huff,
You go there and smoke?
apparently.
Oh my God.
Okay, last time we brought this from the planning board to the board of selectmen, we basically had a moratorium that we had written
Yes,
that we wanted to send to the lawyers, to have them
Right.
review
right.
and see what their response was going to be. Because we didn't have the legal jargon into the moratorium itself, we had the basic outline.
Right.
After we had done that, we had heard from MMA, Maine Municipal, that they had a moratorium that they had drafted as a template for other towns to use, which they have done and implemented. And we were not quite that aware of it at that time, we had already submitted ours. Now, when we heard back from the town's legal services, they came back with a suggestion of using Maine Municipal's template. And that's what we did. We went back through, we looked at that template again. It covers everything that we were looking to do, except it has all that nice legal jargon. It fills in all the holes that we missed. We knew we missed them. We looked for them to do that.
We had you under quite a bit of pressure too.
Yeah,
We
time
needed to
restraints
get it
here
done.
was a lot.
Yeah.
So to save on the time factor, we went with the town attorney's recommendation to use the Maine Municipal ones. I took their template that they gave us in their email and filled in the blanks, which is basically town of Lebanon, Maine. But it goes in there like a half dozen times.
Yep.
So this basically, what you have now in front of you is a finished product, other than any tweaks that we need to do to satisfy what the board might have. From the planning board's perspective, everything that we wanted is there. And this just buys us time to look at all three of those areas. It's all retail areas, growing, selling, growing, the store, and the, growing, stores, the social clubs, and testing facilities. So it's all covered in this one more time. So the next step that we're looking at is, when do we put it before the people?
Well, almost. We need a vote for the board, so.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
sorry about that. And in order to establish a vote, we need to do two things. One is somebody needs to make a motion, somebody needs to second it. That'll open discussion. At that point, we are allowed to amend if necessary, which I don't suggest we do, because obviously somebody's gone through a lot of trouble here.
Well, if you amend it, I'll go back to legal again.
That's right. Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion that we accept this as written. The ordinance establishing a moratorium on retail marijuana establishments and retail social clubs.
Got it.
Mr. Nettle seconds.
Thank you.
And, any questions?
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So
That's
one
it.
way in the back
Thank you.
row, go ahead.
This question, I'm just,
That's fine.
it's more on the length of time. This is for 180 days.
Correct.
But it can be extended essentially indefinitely by the Board of Selectmen. There's no stipulation as to, all it says is they can extend it. So they can extend it, they can just keep extending it in perpetuity. And I didn't know whether it would make sense to have some end game where somebody needs to make a decision. Either we're going to enact certain ordinances or we're not, but you can't leave this moratorium out there indefinitely. Because I do not see the way it's written under the effective date, where there's an end game.
I do believe that there's, once you accept the moratorium, Paul, do you remember what the number of days it was? Was it 180?
It's 180, and then you can extend for an additional
Unless
180.
earlier extended by the Board of Selectmen, and that's all it says. It doesn't say.
And the
that you-
reason that it's been left open on the other end is we've got a state that hasn't completed all of their stuff, all of their lawmaking on this yet. The town may want to discuss this thing more.
I don't disagree with any of that, but.
That's what I'm saying, that's the reason, those are the reasons.
But it
that this
doesn't
has
say,
been
it can,
written
it can basically be extended for 6 years, for 10 years. There's nothing that says somebody actually has to make a decision. And so my point is that from a select board, you guys don't want to deal with it, you extend it. The next group that's in here doesn't want to deal with it, they extend it for a year. And before you know it.
That's not the intent of this at all.
No, I know it's not the intent.
No.
I understand it's not the intent, but that's what this allows, is all I'm saying.
The state statute 4356 is exactly states This moratorium must be a definite time period, not more than 180 days, may be extended for another 180 days if the municipality adopting a moratorium so wishes, and there is no limitations.
At this time.
But it says,
Per the state
but
statute.
that says it can be extended for 180 days.
And with this extension by the selectmen and municipalities, whether municipal or legislative bodies of town meeting.
This doesn't say extended for 180 days.
No, this is for the first 180, then they can extend for another.
But that's what
180.
this doesn't say that.
I mean, because the state law provides for that.
Well, no, but this is our ordinance. So do we have to follow state law, is what you're saying?
Right.
Yes.
Our ordinance will, our moratorium?
No, in other words, this says, unless earlier extended by the Board of Selectmen, unless earlier extended by the Board of Selectmen, are you saying that because of state law, that time period can only be 180 days? Or, because this doesn't say that. This doesn't say unless earlier extended by the Board of Selectmen for another 180 days, it doesn't say that.
Right.
It just says extended, so they could do it for a year. What prevents them from doing it for a year? Or for 2 years, or for 6 years, or for 10 years? I'm not saying they would do it, but I'm just saying,
I see what you're
That's my
saying.
point.
I see what
Okay.
you're saying, yeah.
What we do here, Paul, can be changed by a board of, another board of selectmen vote. So if there needs to be an amendment put on at a later date, or there needs to be a change made, we can do, the board of selectmen here can do that.
What if they vote on?
This gets us there where we need to be, the way I understand it, legally and otherwise.
It's your call.
I think.
I see where you're coming from. I mean, I'm not disputing that.
I mean, I'm not trying to
No,
put a wrinkle in, because I know you're trying to get this done, and I understand that, but I'm
Well,
just, and I'm not talking about this administration that's here,
Right,
but in 6 months,
right.
it's gonna be different, because we're gonna have election,
I wish I had the
and I don't know,
lawyers here to be able to explain why they picked this particular wording. I can't explain it for now.
And we will take this under advisement.
well, I mean, I'm
We'll
just,
ask
it's just
the
a point, it's not
We
my,
will ask the lawyers.
I have no vote in this, it's your vote, it's just a point I bring up, that's all.
Okay, got another question?
I'm kind of coming in a different direction. If this moratorium is enacted and the state gets their act together very quickly and offers, applications for licenses, and it is not going, this moratorium will not expire within the 90 days that an applicant needs to get town sponsorship, is this something that the Board of Selectmen can get the town out of if they wish to proceed with cultivation licenses?
As I said earlier, this vote that we're taking now can be changed, or we can make amendments as necessary. That's, by having it, that's our legal rights as a Board of Selectmen. We have to do it through a regular vote.
You can
Preferably it'll be called a full quorum of selectmen. If not, 2 will suffice.
Right, so you're saying you guys can, with a vote, can change an ordinance?
We can change this,
The draft.
the wording on this, exactly what you were asking.
By a vote down, before it's voted on by the people, is what you're saying?
Yes, but once it goes before the people on the ballot, no, we cannot change.
Right.
Go ahead.
So will you have like an escape clause? Do you know what I mean?
I guess that is our escape clause at the moment.
What?
That is.
What do you mean?
What the selectmen can do, we can,
But once this is written, you have to follow the laws of this moratorium, correct?
once it's accepted by,
And if it's 180.
but once it's accepted by the voters of the town,
Right.
at this point in time, between now and then, the selectmen can change.
So let's just say that this is voted on and enacted in May, which I hope you do it sooner. And it's 180 days, and the state decides to start issuing licenses in July. Your moratorium would still be in place when that time period for somebody who's applying for a license, living in Lebanon, caregiver for 2 years, has
Could
to
still
get that.
be in place.
So would they be disqualified because of the wording of this moratorium?
That's something
Could
we'll have-
the planning
that's
board say
something we'll
we're
have to
ready?
check on. It's something we'll have to check.
Okay, because I would hate to see the towns locked into something legally binding if they were ready, if the planning board was ready
This
to
is-
do all that.
As Paul stated earlier, this has come to us on recommendation of Maine Municipal Association and our town lawyers. That's what we're going on with this at this point in time. As everybody knows, there's a lot of action out there from all directions, and people are trying to get all kinds of things done.
So is it
This is
stopping?
what it is.
Does this make it stop? Does this make the buildings on TM
This
Wentworth
is the
stop?
beginning.
Is it the beginning of making them stop?
Not TM Wentworth Road because they're medicinal use.
Right, if you've already got a building in progress, that's exactly what it is a building in progress. Nobody's been licensed to grow anything yet, nobody's been,
Oh, so just the buildings are
other
building up?
than our medicinal marijuana growers, what do they call them?
Caregivers.
Caregivers, I'm sorry.
So TM Wentworth is caregivers?
No,
No.
not that I know of.
They're medicinal use growers.
So they can put the building up, but they can't put the pot in it?
No, they can because they're medicinal use growers. This is a moratorium against recreational use growers and sales.
It's two different,
Yeah,
Correct.
they're two different entities at this point.
we have no control over this.
Right. And we didn't set the laws on that. The state did that.
Just meeting.
I was just gonna say, and the adoption is when the vote is taken, right? Not when you pass it, this is
Correct.
just to get
That's
this
why
vote
we're leaving
going.
ourselves room, we've been leaving a little wiggle room here, just in case.
So,
Go ahead, Deborah.
Thank you, Royce. I appreciate.
any more questions?
Paul,
I'll take it.
my only question is that there are a lot of people who are like freaking right out. The state voted to allow us to smoke, and they think, even after all the work that you've done, that this is a moratorium on usage or personal growth of their 6 plants. And I just would like a clarification from the planning board, and then again, maybe from the selectmen. This will not affect their right to puff. It will not affect their right to grow their personal plants. This is for retail and recreational sales in a building, correct?
Correct, and if you look underneath definitions, it spells out very clearly that it is the sale of.
I will put this on there too. I just wanted an assurance from the planning board and then maybe from the
We have
selectmen
no
as well,
control
because it's,
over personal use.
believe me, the screaming has begun.
I saw a couple of your comments.
Thank you. And Royce, could you do that as far as for the selectmen, also assure people that you are not trying to inhibit their use or their personal growth?
We're not, we are, Mr. Philbrook explained it very well. And
I just wanted
referring
dual
back to The
boards.
same exact thing.
I appreciate that, thank you. She was next.
Mary, I guess, I'm sorry.
When Christine does come to the next meeting, can she say she doesn't want this and ask for a new vote?
She could ask for it, I don't know whether she wants it or not, and I would hope, I'm sorry that she couldn't be here tonight, but this is scheduled.
But that could happen.
Really? I don't know.
I hope not, but it's always a possibility with the selectmen here.
Harrison?
Yeah, the personal use is not affected by this. However, how would a person that uses it personally buy the plants?
That's the question we've been asking, just there's no answer for us at this time.
Not legally anywhere in this state.
Go to
Right.
Epsom and
So
Hampshire.
it affects everything.
Go to other states.
So we're waiting for the state there, huh?
But the state's clear on the personal land that we have no jurisdiction. Which is
You just can't obtain them legally, though. That's what I'm saying. Catch-22.
So this is mainly for these stores, so they're not putting these stores in my
Elevation.
backyard, but,
elevation of the stores, the social clubs, and the testing facilities.
right, but, I mean, but they're cultivating in my backyard when they put those buildings up and start growing it in those buildings.
Yeah, that's municipal. We have no control.
Right, medicinal, yeah.
Town has no authority.
Dan?
Joyce, you made the statement that the intent of what is gone forth. Does Paul agree with your intent?
That's something you need to ask Paul.
Paul, would you answer?
Intent on,
For proceeding as you are right now.
Right.
Guess you'll find out once they vote.
He voted, he was with,
I voted for the,
No, they,
To accept this.
right,
oh, you guys haven't voted yet, have you? You already
Yes, they
yes, they
did.
did, and he
made a
said,
motion, you seconded it, but you actually voted in favor?
Yes.
Okay, I missed that, sorry.
this
But well, I'll take the
Right.
vote again if
Yeah, go
anyone wants.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear that again.
All right, about the establishing the moratorium on retail marijuana establishments and retail social clubs. I move that we accept this paper as written, this document as written, I'm sorry.
We already voted on this.
I thought you made a motion and then you seconded it. I didn't realize-
Right, they didn't actually
Motion,
vote.
This time I said it differently. Yeah,
Royce?
I'm confused.
When will you be deciding the date that this moratorium will go before the voters?
Tonight, I hope.
Oh, that's a very good question. Well,
I'm still waiting on the NIAID, why is that
there
go
is,
first? I'll give you weeds.
I know the planning board is working diligently on this to get this moving. The selectman's office is there too. As far as a particular date right now, I don't know. I can tell you that a final date probably would be the election in May. But there's a possibility of a town meeting before that.
When will you be making the decision?
Hold your breath.
We're working on it now, actually, not tonight as a board, but this office is working on it. Number of different factions, actually, planning board and the selectmen both. I don't know who else has gotten involved on it.
We have a motion.
Yeah, you haven't voted yet, officially voted yet.
You want to second it again?
No, it's already on there. It's all those in favor.
You just have to do the in favor
Just
part.
all those in favor they want to hear.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
all those in favor?
Boom.
I'm sorry.
I just have one general information question for Paul. Do you have any idea what the timeline is for, I know other towns that are working on this moratorium. Do you have any timelines as far as how quickly they are getting a vote together, or are they doing it by,
some have passed this already.
have they done it just by a board of selectmen without the town vote?
They don't have to. If they have the right type of government, they don't need a town vote. We are based on a town meeting.
Right, in order
Basis, so we
to
have
make
to-
anything an ordinance, it has to be brought before the voters.
That's where we're in a different ballgame.
Paul, also, weren't there people that were thinking ahead of time and had it right on their ballot that if this passed, the moratorium would be enacted immediately until such time as the laws came? So there were
Right.
people that went to town vote, but they had their act together and had that moratorium vote right on the ballot, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we missed that one.
Excuse me.
And yes,
I'd like to ask you where the two of you, each separately, stand on the need for a special town vote for this moratorium, where you stand yourself on that issue. I would like to see that town vote come as soon as possible, and I know that that's been discussed many times, and we still can't get a commitment from the board on where each one of you stand on the need for a special election for this.
asking for a personal opinion.
No, I'm asking for each board member's thoughts on the need for a special election.
I think a special election is a two-sided sword. If it's set up that that there can be absentee ballots, a regular ballot vote, a lot more people can vote on it.
Correct.
And will vote on it. That requires a certain amount of time. I believe it's 45 days before any vote, before any hearing. No, before a vote. That includes a
Yes.
10 days on a hearing
Correct.
before the vote. Public hearing.
Right, so the longer we wait
So
for
there is
this.
time right now,
Mhm.
and this is, to me, this is quite important, most important. I think we should move it along.
Thank you. Paul?
Right now, I'm still thinking of May for the town meeting. It's not sure, but I'm thinking about that. But I'm gonna look at everything.
Thank you.
When does the,
What's the deadlines?
for the May meeting, what's the deadline for the closure of the referendum warrant?
You've got to count back, it's roughly 45 days from,
From
and
May, yeah.
what we'll do.
Yeah, but you also have to
May
print the
meeting.
ballot as well, so I know that comes into play
Yes.
as well.
It's around the second week of May, I believe, this year, that the town meeting will be, so it's about 45 days before that. I haven't done an actual date count on it all.
The end of March, anyway.
Right now.
There were questions before as to whether there was money available for elections.
Yes,
And I believe that it has been determined that there is money available.
yes.
And I believe Dale has probably been involved as to the availability of the personnel.
Yep.
Thank you.
My concern.
It is costly to have a special election, but in my opinion, I think we should. I
Half
think
the time.
because of the issues, because the state hasn't really totally decided what they're gonna do yet, they could at any time. They could write down something, a set of laws and say, this is it. Not saying it's a panic thing that they do, but they could be well ahead of us. And that's the reason we need to get this in place. The sooner we have it in, the better off we are.
Chip,
Probably more question for Paul. What happens if this doesn't happen until May, and let's say it passes in May, but what happens between now and whenever that vote is? Can somebody come in, build, do all that stuff, set up a storefront, and then if we vote for a moratorium in May, it shuts them down?
No.
Because it sounds like this does shut down any existing
Right.
facility down. So they could be up for, assuming the state got their act together,
Right.
and the permitting process and blah, 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 blah. If they were actually, they could actually be up and running for a month, and then if this voted in favor, it would shut them down. Is that correct? So, really what we're talking about is what this does, is this gives clarity. Because if I'm a business owner, why would I do that? Why would I want to build now to be shut down in May if this thing goes through? It may not go through, but I mean, there's a risk there. Why would I do that? So I wouldn't wait, I would wait until May to find out what happened with this before I did anything. As a business person, that's what I'm thinking. Am I right or wrong
You're
so far? So that leads me to my next question is how many, by delaying until May?
If you might, let's hold it at one question, and let's.
Well, no, it's the same, it's the same thing
You
though.
got someone else who would like to respond to it, that's all.
The,
Jeff.
the fact of the matter is that the state is not gonna issue a license to anybody that does not have municipal approval, whether it's cultivation or a retail store or a social club.
Right.
So you guys hold all the power over anybody who's going for any of those licenses. You can say you want a certain number of these facilities in town. You can say you want no stores in town, just cultivation. You can say you want no social clubs. So if somebody from this town is looking for one of these licenses, They can't get it if you say no. They'll go to a town that they can do it. If you're an investor looking in, if you're already here, you would have to relocate, or you would have to hope that you get a license or the municipal approval from Lebanon.
Right, and so that was,
So the town is protected based on the way the law was written. They have final approval on who comes to do business in their town.
right, so
With this moratorium.
No,
in place.
with the law. This moratorium is just giving you time to set those local ordinances that you want your businesses to comply.
you're saying a business still needs to get signed off by the town?
Absolutely, yeah. So if you go to apply for a cultivation license, retail license, on the retail license, they're not limited. They'll give those to anybody who has a good business plan and has municipal support.
But that, how do you show that municipal support?
You would have to say, we support such and such. So yeah,
Selectmen
that's
would have to have a
important.
vote and say, we support
Absolutely.
this establishment.
Municipal approval is key to anybody looking to get into this business. You guys hold all the power as a municipality. This is just giving you time to get your ordinances written of where you want these places located, or if you want them at all.
That is correct.
And then, so that leads into that other part of my question was, how many residents are we holding up from investing in this town?
Exactly,
How many other business interests are we holding up from investing in this town?
exactly.
And is that dollars that this town, tax dollars this town is gonna be missing out on by holding this up until May? Because again, if we vote on this in May, now you're talking 6 months later, that means nobody's gonna do anything until November. And they won't start earlier. They won't start building earlier because this could be extended. We just talked about this. This could be extended indefinitely. So why would I take that risk? So now I'm not gonna do anything until November if we don't vote on this. So that's just those would be my questions is how many are we holding up by waiting until May? I mean, that's a long time, you know, and I mean, maybe that's what everybody wants is to hold it out and so nobody does it here. I mean, maybe that's what the end result is, but, it should be a conscious decision.
Bear in mind now, it's just a moratorium, not the ordinances.
Right.
Right now, there's no ordinances in the book, so if somebody should come in, present a application to us saying they want to open up a cultivation facility, we'd have to approve it. We have
No, you
not-
don't.
Why do you have to
You
approve it?
don't.
We have nothing to say we can't.
According
what do you
to
have to
law,
say you
don't.
can?
What says we can stop it? What do we have a
What-
ground saying to say we stop it?
It's
What-
the selectmen to have a vote to say no. I mean, it's a,
It's like a restaurant coming in here asking the same thing. What would we say to them? We have no control.
you don't want to hear.
We have no control.
Sure you do. You said you don't want to hear.
You can't
What
do
are they,
that.
how are they gonna sue you?
We have no rights.
You have nothing that says it can be here.
The state won't issue the license.
It's,
And again, with this sitting out there to be voted on in May, no business person is going to take the risk to come here early and do that.
I realize that. But bear in mind, once this moratorium's in, we still got to write the ordinance.
Folks, we have someone else here that has got some other business to do before the board.
Right.
We'd like to cut this off now if we could.
That's fine.
Let's see. Dale,
Okay, so I'm here to kind of present an option to improve customer service here at the office. As you know, sometimes there's lines out the door, particularly on Thursdays and Fridays. And we've done the best we can, Kathy and I, to move the lines and to be efficient. Now we have another person, we have the manpower now, to be able to have 3 stations at the counter, so that we can be efficient, people can come in, do their business, and be on their way without having to wait.
kind of get rid of some of these long lines that end up getting out to the door a lot of
Yeah,
times.
actually, and sometimes they actually go out into the parking lot, so.
What you're saying is you're trying to work out of two stations here,
Yeah.
and you've got, a lot of times, you've got a third person that's trying to get in there and do their work also, which kind of causes a bit of a confusing situation. And I also believe there might even be a state rule involved here about this.
Yeah, I
About
don't,
checking, how you check in and out of it and all that sort of thing.
I don't know on that, but I do know that now that we have the manpower to be able to run 3 stations, all we need is a computer, a couple of printers, some electronics, and we can be efficient.
Right.
So-
And did you happen to look in any of this and see what it was gonna cost?
Yeah, I'm coming at about $1,600.
About 1,600.
Yeah, yeah.
That should set us up and running and the whole works.
It really should. We should be able to be up and running pretty quickly too. And I know the funds are available in the
Okay,
office equipment.
okay.
There's more than enough in there to be able to fund this. And once it's there, it's there.
Well, I know I've seen a number of times when it is my job, by the way, to watch, to kind of watch and see how many people are waiting in line out front, and for whatever reason. I believe now, we have the staff, but we're being held up a little bit by this, not having this other station. Hang on a minute.
1 minute.
Time it.
It's just. Oh, you got me good on that one. But anyway, I believe there's a need here. And we probably should do something about it. I'll open the floor for 5 questions, 1 minute each. Go ahead, Deb.
My question is less than a minute. In May, voters approved money for updates on technology and for a new server for this town. We still have not even heard proposal number 1. I would respectfully say that I think she has a right to this because the voters have already approved the finances for it.
That was a question and an opinion. Anybody else?
Question and an opinion.
Go ahead.
I have spoken before that I have come down to the town hall. I wanted to speak with Sue or someone else. And I waited in line because the other people were approaching the workstations for processing motor vehicle things or other things. I suggested the possibility of taking a number for the people that are needing to do stuff at the workstation, possibly taxes, possibly registrations, stuff like that. If something could be worked on that, then people wouldn't have to wait. I was very courteous, I didn't have anything else to do, so I waited. But I didn't have.
Our clerks need at least some freedom to decide for themselves what is the best way to operate behind the counter there.
Yeah.
And they know the laws probably better than most of us do here. I think if they're telling us that they need another station, that's really where we ought to get. Anybody else?
I would say if someone comes in too and they need to see Sue or the treasurer,
Yeah.
they can just come right in and see. You do not have to wait in line to get approval from us behind the counter. So if that happens again, you just come right on and see Sue. Don't wait.
Okay. Maybe if there could be something posted, maybe you could draft.
Make a little sign, Sue is this way.
Unless she's working behind the counter.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make a motion that we get the necessary equipment to do it, to make a new workstation for the front counter out there. Can I get a second?
Thinking about it. You know, you've got a new woman in there.
Right.
I mean, a little more training and she'll be, she'll know what she's doing.
Oh, she does. I mean, there's a lot to the job. There was a lot of
I know
details.
that. I'm
But
just
she-
saying,
What they're saying is that a lot of times they're running, if they have the other station, all 3 can work. But you can still put 3 people out there, but if they're trying to work with just 2 stations, somebody's having to wait.
right. But
So and that's the reason why we've got a line out front a lot of times.
we've got a woman that's part-time. How many hours a week is she?
Go on.
30 to 35.
Huh?
30 to 35, or 34. No more than 34.
I don't wanna think about it.
is there any cost estimate that,
She just gave
She
it.
just gave us
oh, I
all,
didn't hear it.
About 1,600.
Oh,
But you already have, the town already has the money for it.
but that hooks you up.
We voted it in May.
Right.
Yeah, the money's already.
This is
there.
January.
July, August, September, October, November, December, yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So you got one vote yes and one vote,
I don't know.
And no second.
Staying.
one no vote.
All right, well, thank you for hearing the proposal.
Sorry, Dale.
Thank you, Dale.
Still, you're coming back again when there's 3 of them, right?
Sure, Sue put me on the agenda, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Christine wasn't
Well,
here to
what
tell
else
him
we
when
got?
to second the motion.
Oh my God. I'm not to say that.
When Christine tells him how to vote, then he'll
I want to
figure
put
it
the
out.
chemo in your face.
Yeah,
When you talk.
you want to put it on them until I speak.
Not this hand.
I think what we might do is adjourn this meeting for about 15 minutes. We've got some people coming in at 4:30 from trains for a meeting. And we'll resume then.
And then it's open for questions after.
Sure. Unless you guys wanna talk about.
I have quite a
little
few of them.
something
I don't
right
think you want to discuss them just
I'd
yet.
rather have the 15-minute adjournment and talk about what I have
now.
later.
Okay.
If you
Take a
So
15-minute
we gotta break.
recess.
Recess,
Yeah, we
that's
gotta
it.
recess.
And go out and play kickball.
So sad.
So you're gonna second?
Sure it's wet.
yeah, I make a motion